chairing tonight's meeting. The meeting is being broadcast live on Council's YouTube channel. If I lose connection and cannot reconnect, Councillor Florence Faraday will, Florence Vedeo will take over for me. I would like to remind all participants of few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your camera turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add any additional information other than their allocated time to speak, they must use raise hand function so that they are not missed. I also ask that members keep their questions and comments brief to the point. Now I move to item 1 on our agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence. None was received. Item 2, declaration of interests. Do members have any declaration of interest?
No, Chair.
No, Chair. Item 3, JMB Food and Wine, 143 Askew Road, London, W12 9AU. I would like to ask all participants to introduce yourself as I call on you. We have with us the applicant of the review, Mr. Bill Massin, Licensing and Trading Standard Officer. Are you here?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Lona McKenna, Licensing Officer, is she here?
Yes, present, Chair.
Thank you. We have Matt Tucker, Licensing Policy and Administration Team Leader.
Good evening, Chair. Good evening, Chair. I'm just here to observe.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
We have Emmanuel Appencho, Legal Advisor.
Good evening, Chair.
Thank you. We have licensee Sobi Singh Bhatia, Premises License Holder.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have Mr. Pachal, Licensing Premises License Holder Agent.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
We have supporting the review is PC Nicole Sandu, Police Licensing Team.
Yep, present, Chair.
Thank you. We have Doug Love, Lead Practitioner, Trading Standard.
Good evening, all.
Good evening, sir. And we have now procedure. I will.
Sorry, Chair. We also have Adrian Overton on the call as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just here to assist Lorna and Matt this evening. Obviously, I'll be saying something at the next hearing. Thank you.
I know. So that's why I didn't mention your name. Your name is on the next hearing. Thank you. Okay. Procedure. I will quickly explain the procedure the committee will follow. We hear from the following. The licensing officer will introduce the application. Then the applicant, Mr. Bill Massin, Licensing and Trading Standard Officer, will present the grounds for the review. Representing the authority supporting the review is PC Nicole Sandu, the Police Licensing Team, and Doug Love, Licensing Practitioner, Trading Standard. Finally, the Premises License Holders Representative. Usually, each party will address the committee for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions of any party or other person present at the hearing, except committee members. No party has the right to ask questions to any other party at any time during the hearing. Following the presentation and questioning, each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their case or representation. The committee will then retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce committee's decision. Please keep your remarks as concise as possible. Now we go to presenting officer. Can I ask licensing officer Lona to introduce the application?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So on the 23rd of December 2024, an application for a review of the premises licence under Section 51 of the Licensing Act 2003 was served by Licensing and Trading Standard Officer Mr Bill Mussini on behalf of the London Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham Council's Licensing Authority. The review application is in respect of the premises known as JMB Food and Wine 143 Askew Road, London, W12 9AU, which is held by Mr. Sabir Singh Bhatia, who is the current premises licence holder. The application for a review of the premises licence was made on the grounds of the protection of children from harm, the prevention of crime and disorder, and public safety following several incidents at the premises, which included the sale of alcohol and nicotine inhaling products to children. On the 31st of October 2024, the Trading Standards team received a complaint claiming the premises had sold alcohol and nicotine inhaling products to 5 children. On the 5th of November 2024, the licensing team received a complaint outlining the same incident at the premises. On the 6th of November, an officer from both the Trading Standard and licensing team carried out a joint visit to the premises where a number of breaches of the premises licence conditions were identified. Subsequent visits were made to the premises on the 11th, 17th and 27th of November 2024, where outstanding breaches of conditions attached to the premises licence were identified. And on the 9th of December 2024, the premises licence holder was interviewed under caution by Trading Standards and licensing officers with respects to the recent incidents that have occurred at the premises. The premises does currently benefit from a premises licence which permits the following licensable activities: the sale of alcohol off the premises only, Monday to Sunday between the hours of 9 a.m. till 11 p.m, with the hours that the premises is open to the public between Monday to Sunday between 6:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. During the review consultation period, the licensing team received 4 representations supporting the review application. 1 representation from the PC Nicole Sond on behalf of the Hammersmith and Fulham Metropolitan Police licensing team, 1 representation from Mr Doug Love on behalf of the Hammersmith and Fulham Trading Standards team, and 2 representations were received from local residents, all supporting the review application. Due to the seriousness of the incidents and the undermining of the licensing objectives, Mr Mussini requests that the licensing subcommittee consider a revocation of the premises licence this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Lorna. Now we have the Mr. Bill Mussini, Licensing Trading Standard to speak. You have 5 minutes.
Good evening, all. So the review application is quite detailed, and obviously I'm not in a position to explain too much within 5 minutes. And my presentation is based on the fact that papers have been prepared in advance, and that hopefully the papers have been read by all parties. I will say from the outset that in over 15 years of submitting licence reviews, which include more than 100 applications, this is the worst case that I've had reason to present to licence subcommittee. And as I will go through, it revolves around a very serious incident involving 5 girls aged between 13 and 14 years of age. So significantly under the legal age to purchase alcohol, or also in this case, tobacco vapes. However, first of all, that this premise came to your attention on February the 14th of last year, when an application was made by the then new premise licence holder for extension of his hours. And after hearing, you granted that application in part, but an additional 6 conditions were put on the licence. I can tell you now that all 6 conditions were breached when we have investigated the matter and carried out inspections. However, this review is based around the very serious matter. On the 27th of October last year, where 5 girls aged 13 or 14 were sold vodka, not just on one occasion, but twice in the space of a few minutes. 3 of those girls were hospitalised, and on the application, the complaints that were made by their mothers are detailed on your pack at page 14 and 15. And I think it, pun not intended, but I think it makes very sober reading to read what happened in this particular matter. On page 15 of your pack as well, it also explains the effect it's had on the people concerned. And then one of the mothers said, "It remains a very dark day in my parenting experience and still shudder at the thought of it happening ever again to anyone." So that's the basis of our review from the outset. But what then developed was a catalogue of failures, which we say was completely unacceptable. And they're detailed under the timeline in the committee papers at pages 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 of your papers. It includes, and I think it's probably sensible for me to point of time to go straight through to the conclusions that's detailed at page 26 of your pack, which is page 17 of my application. But we have to say that really, had it not been for the swift action of and professionalism of the London Ambulance Fire Service and those professionals at the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, this application could have been referred to fatalities. That's how serious it became. Now, one of the things that we look for is CCTV footage to actually prove or disprove allegations that are made. And on this occasion, no CCTV footage has been produced by premise license holder, despite it being promised to us that it went back to the 12th of October, well before this incident occurred. You are invited by licensing to draw the conclusion that no such footage was ever going to be reproduced to you for the sole reason it's self-incriminating. Having read this application up to this stage, it should be clear by now it's unlikely it would have been produced. And it's not possible to say whether it's properly installed or not, but it would appear to be more than likely deliberately destroyed soon after the mother went back to the shop, when the people concerned were aware of what happened and the seriousness of what happened. You're invited to treat the breach of the CCTV as seriously as the sale of vodka itself. To teenage girls which were as much as 5 years under legal age, and there's a requirement on this license to operate Challenge 25, so that people only 18 or over are actually sold. There's till prompts to help the business comply, and a positive action had to be taken by the seller to override the sale, so they knew that they were selling age-restricted products. Despite one of the mothers going to the shop and trying to discuss matters, not even a week after that, Trading Standards carried out a test purchase exercise, which Mr. Battier himself failed, selling a vape pen to a child. Virtually all the conditions on the premise license have been breached. These have continued to be breached, and further visits, and no attempts whatsoever have been made to comply with the conditions, not even simple ones such as display of notices required by some conditions. Alcohol in the form of beer and stout continued to be placed back on display in breach of the maximum strength condition, which is condition 19. No invoices have ever been produced for their purchase. Illegal tobacco was found on premises, and no adequate explanation has been given for the open packet cigarettes, which we say was because there were sales of single cigarettes to people, which is not allowed. It's actually a criminal offence. We say the answers under caution, many of which contradict what previously been said to officers, lack any credibility and show how badly the business has been run with a general disregard to legal responsibilities, and particular to young people. We say that the licensing objectives have not been promoted, and there's a complete lack of confidence in the premise license holder being able to promote these in future. The conditions on the premises license, if read and followed, would have prevented these incidents from occurring. Mr. Battier had formal training to get his personal license. It was only obtained about a year ago in late 2023. And all that was learned had been totally disregarded. Further, the variations submitted by the premise license holder in November 2023, which led to the hearing on the 14th of February last year, revolve around the applicant proposing to the committee 6 further conditions to be added if the licensing of hours were increased. These have all been breached, and your decision has been completely dismissed as a result of that. Instead of engaging with the relevant authorities, premise license holder has shown a complete disregard for his responsibilities and to those damaged by or affected by his actions. He has shown no remorse or even inquired about the welfare of these girls. Not one concern whatsoever. We say that further conditions would not be appropriate, nor would a long period of suspension, and that revocation is the only and proper decision to take in this matter. If I can help you with anything further, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Masini. Now I'll go to responsible authorities in support. Can I ask PC Sandhu to speak? You have 5 minutes, please.
Good evening, Chair. Thank you. We just want to reiterate, obviously, the concerns raised by the council, and we support their application for revocation of this premises licence. The incident that obviously brought the premises to notice is deeply concerning. Obviously, three girls ended up in hospital, and concerns were raised in the protection of children from harm through those sales. Throughout their investigation, the council identified continuous breaches. Of particular concern to us was obviously the sale to underage children, and also the sale of high-strength alcohol, despite that condition of any alcohol above 5.5 not to be on display for sale. On 4 occasions throughout their investigation, the licence holder showed a complete disregard for that condition, and for the chances that he'd been given to comply with it, which basically demonstrates to us a complete lack of compliance and a complete lack of faith in him as a responsible premises licence holder, which obviously brings into question his ability to be a responsible premises licence holder. With regards to the sale of the condition that we put on for the sale of alcohol above 5.5, or to not have those products on sale, is because of the issues that we have in and around Shepherd's Bush with regards to street drinking and the links that it has to antisocial behaviour in the area, which the premises licence holder seems to have a complete disregard for. So we therefore support revocation of the licence.
Thank you, PC. Can I ask Douglas Love to speak? You have 5 minutes. Trading standards.
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing to add to the trading standards representation, which can be found on pages 66 to 69 of the papers. So I will merely reiterate my opinion that even if just the events witnessed by officers are considered, there are sufficient grounds for revocation to be the appropriate outcome. If the alleged underage sales to 13 and 14-year-olds did happen, and I'm in no doubt that it did, as I cannot think of any other reason why the CCTV footage would have been withheld, I would suggest that revocation is the only appropriate outcome. I'd be pleased to answer any questions about TS investigation if it would assist the committee further. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Now I go to licensing holder. can I ask, is it Mr. Pachal to speak on behalf of Singh Bhatia, or how do you want to do it? You have 15 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'll be speaking on behalf of Mr. Bhatia.
Okay.
Chair, but yeah, I will need 10 minutes, not more than, not 15.
Okay, that's fine.
I have been involved into this matter since I work very closely with Doug Love and Mr. Massini, Mil Massini. So I have been in touch with them since we were appointed in the first instance when there was a problem with premises. We have done our utmost best to make sure this matter gets resolved in the way Bill Massini and Doug Love and us together would like to go forward. When I say to go forward is we understand the breaches, we understand the way Mr. Bhatia has run his shop, and it should have never happened there. He was trained and he did everything. So the way to go forward, ma'am, with this licenses, we understand that what has happened so far, my 25 years career, I haven't seen anything like this, but I've tried my best to make sure that the premises is not lost to the general public and the premises remains to serve the general public, and Mr. Bhatia be relieved from the premises. So Mr. Bhatia has agreed that he would like to move forward and move away from the off-license trade, which he hasn't been capable of running it properly. And that is what we've discussed with Mr. Bhatia. So the premises is now up for sale. The premises have got two interested people who are now proceeding further to take over the premises, who are very experienced. One of them who we have already applied for, ma'am, which we are going to be hearing the application after this finishes. But that is the way forward we are planning at this very moment. And I leave that to you. We do understand it is a very serious matter. So we've asked Mr. Bhatia at this moment, while the change is happening at the premises, which again would be to your discretion when we hear the second part of the hearing, the second hearing, that we would bring a new operator, a new person who understands the licensing objectives, have experience. And presently, we've asked one of the experienced person who is a prospective buyer of the premises. The lawyers are in place for that, and to help run the premises along with Mr. Bhatia at the moment to make sure that the premises, while the matter is going ahead. In conclusion, Mr. Bhatia apologizes for what he has done at the premises. That's the only way we could move him. He had never run a premises before when he took over this and didn't have an idea, although he was explained. So, ma'am, there's nothing much we could say this. We are working along with Bill and all of us to make sure the matter is taken forward. So that's all we can say at this moment. But there is a change coming in. So presently, it would be very helpful. It would be very helpful if the license was either suspended or if the license was it's much easier for us to transfer to the new incoming person. That's all we can say at this very moment, ma'am. We cannot say anything further than that. Sorry, sir. Sorry, ma'am. You're muted. You're muted, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Patel. Mr. Pachal. Now, can I ask each committee members to ask questions of any party about the application and the issues that has been raised at this hearing relating to 4 licensing objectives: the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, protection of children from harm. So can I ask committee members to ask questions to anybody here, to any of you? Yeah, Councillor Shavade. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks very much. I suppose I want to start by saying thank you to the many people who have spoken tonight and who have worked on this, particularly to the police, our training standards and licensing teams, for being there to protect the people who need it. It's inspiring the work you have done, and I thank you for that. We don't, I think, pay enough tribute often to the people who are there and to shield us from the worst members of society. I would like to start with a question to the applicant. Many representations tonight have mentioned the fact that CCTV was withheld. Why is that?
That's a very good question. We required, as license conditions permit us to have CCTV footage, site of CCTV footage. That would have helped us verify who actually was the seller, and we were told that by Mr. Batcher's son, who was working in the shop on the 6th of November, that it would be available for us to see. And a notice was served to do that. Some of the visits that I carried out later that month was because CCTV footage had not been produced, and it then became clear from conversations with Mr. Panchow that CCTV would never be produced. In our experience, CCTV footage, if it shows incriminating evidence, will be destroyed. And we believe that the CCTV footage was destroyed. In the papers, it's been said that one of the mothers went to the shop the day after the incident, where she spoke to Mr. Batcher. He, we are told her that his son was working on the Sunday, and we believe that the CCTV would have been checked, and it would have shown 5 girls in the shop on 2 occasions that Sunday afternoon. They were clearly underage, and a positive gesture was made on the till prompt to sell those items. And we feel that the CCTV was not produced for that reason. And I say that it's a similar situation to somebody who has been stopped by the police to give a breath test and refuses to give one. And it should be treated as seriously as if the offence did actually take place. I cannot answer the question as to why it was never produced, but we sought to use our powers for it to be produced as evidence one way or the other, because at interview, Mr. Batcher said it was him who'd made the sale to these girls, whereas we were told by the mother that Mr. Batcher had told her that his son was working in the shop that day, not him. So ultimately, it is not of concern here as to who did. What is clear, though, was that sale did actually take place from that shop, and that the exhibit I produced in the papers shows a transaction being made on one of the girls' debit cards, prepayment debit card, which then gets credited to following down the statement. So there's no doubt that sale did take place that day. Really, that's a question for Mr. Batcher as to why he didn't produce it. The CCTV was never put back into use when we went further visits, which should have been, and that in essence, no alcohol should have been served when CCTV wasn't being in operation, because no authorised activity should take place when the CCTV is not working, because it's a condition of the licence. I'm not sure that really answers the question, but We do not know why the CCTV was not produced. We just have our very strong suspicions as to why it was not produced.
Thank you, Mr. Massini. So if I can ask the license holder, please, to respond to what's been said. I noticed your representation did not address that. If you could address the reason why the CCTV footage was not produced, as well as who made the sale, please.
It's as difficult as what Mr. Massini has said for us to get that information. We've been asking the applicant numerous occasions. They say that the thinking got corrupt or whatever, and hence the CCTV was realized that it wasn't working. We've been listening the same thing as what Bill's been listening from the client. We do serve the community and the Asian community around the West London area. You might be seeing us quite often on the TV. And having heard and having seen what has happened in the premises, we have advised, that's all we can do. We could have advised the client, our client, that he should move forward and leave the off-license trade, because that is not what, since we've seen the breaches at the shop. At the present moment, all the premises are now in good condition. The CCTV is operating. The person working at the premises now are fully qualified. We make sure that that happens at the premises without the community being served properly. So that has happened at the moment. In the meantime, while we are fast tracking to make sure that Mr. Bhatia departs from this business. So we have potential buyers and potential people ready to take over the premises. We've discussed this with Mr. Douglas and Bill Massini. That's all I can do at the present moment to make sure that we have a proper running of the shop. We've been hearing the same thing of what the responsible authorities are hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. The French have an expression called to drown the fish. That's an expression you use when someone's trying to not answer a question, throw facts at you, and in the hope that they will have forgotten the original question and that we can move on. Thank you for reminding me of my home country. Mr. Panchal, why was the CCTV withheld, and who has made the sale?
From what we heard from the client, they reckon that it wasn't withheld. It was the equipment went corrupt, isn't it?
Yes.
The equipment, CCTV.
I wasn't able to hear the end. I don't know if other committee members heard it, but no, yeah, it cut. Your sound is sometimes a bit jumpy. If you could repeat, please.
Can you hear me now properly?
Yeah, a bit better.
Yeah. What message we get from the client and that the CCTV was corrupted so it wasn't recording the incidents or whatever at that particular instance. So that is what their answer was. But they weren't withholding. What they had, they copied it down and gave it up to the responsible authorities.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. I don't think I have the words to express the disappointment, but thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Councillor. Any more questions? Okay.
None from me, Chair.
You have question?
No, I said none from me. Council.
Okay, not from you. Okay.
I covered it quite well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and all the officers and the PC and, the trading. Thank you all for being here. My question goes to Mr. Panchal. Why is it that you never attended any of the trainings that were offered? I know, as you said, move on. How do we move on from this? Moving on doesn't mean, I don't understand when you say let's move on. There are issues here that were not solved. So you keep saying let's move on because you want to sell to somebody else to take over the business.
Sorry, ma'am, which training are you?
So what I'm saying is, Mr. I've never attended any of the training that is supposed to attend. None of them, he never attended any. And which means he never understood what it is, prevention of children from harm, protection of children from harm.
Ma'am, just to remind you, we are mixing two cases together. Are we talking about whose training are we talking about here? I'm just a bit confused.
I'm not confusing you. You are saying we have to move on. We have to move on, and yet you are not able to tell us to produce the what the question that was asked a minute ago about the to provide the officers with the video or what happened on that very day. He said, "Oh, the thing was spoiled. The technique, I don't understand. So explain to me to make me understand what happened on that day."
Ma'am, the client's explanation, the applicant's, the license holder's explanation to us as well as to the responsible authority was that during the certain period, the recorder wasn't working, and whatever the recorder had recorded, the client produced those recording to the responsible authorities, as far as I'm concerned, as far as we're concerned, when we were told about it. So we are ourselves disappointed about it. We're not saying that we're not disappointed about it. We are ourselves disappointed about it, that they should have looked at it. When you're talking about us moving forward, it's by us saying to you that yes, we are all agreeing with Will Massini and Love and everybody to say they haven't shown themselves to promote the 4 licensing objectives as that should have been done. And hence our view and our advice as a consultant, licensing consultant, to the license holder was that you're not capable of running this type of a business. So you're better off selling the business off to somebody who's capable in running, and that process is already going on, and they are now moving out of this business. That's what we are trying to explain to you.
Okay, Councillor Shovede.
Sorry, Chair. I thought perhaps the license holder might do you the courtesy of recognizing that they, in fact, in their representation, mentioned the other case prior to then on telling you that you're mixing things up. But it sounds that the license holder did not have that courtesy. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. My next question goes to the officers, our licensing officer, and that is that he has got so many breaches, and yet we were not able to hold him accountable for any of this. We could have brought him earlier on when there were so many breaches, rather than wait till something happens.
Well, that's a very good point, Chair, and that this matter would have been brought before you much sooner had there been the cooperation from Mr. Bhatia around the issues of CCTV. We were assured that CCTV would be produced to us. We were never told that the CCTV, which was on two mobile cameras, because the main, I'll go back one point. that the shop had built-in CCTV cameras and a hard drive. When we went in November after the incident, that was not working. However, there were two cameras called very short cameras, which are cameras that are used for domestic purposes in the shop. And that CCTV was on the son's mobile phone, which you could view. Mr. Bhatia, Senior, was unable to operate it himself because he had to ring his son to view it. We were assured by the son that there was footage that went back to the 12th of October. That is why he was served a notice, and that is why I returned on several occasions during November for that, to see that footage. We did not interview Mr. Bhatia until we were satisfied that the CCTV was not going to be produced, because we only mentioned to Mr. Bhatia about the girls' sales late in the PACE interview that took place on the 9th of December, for reasons that we did not want to risk the CCTV being sabotaged.
Yeah.
But the mother of one of the girls went to the shop the day after the incident in late October, and initially Mr. Bhatia interview said that he had never had any complaints to his shop, to his business. It's only when we raised the incident late in the interview, and that interview went on for 2.5 hours, because Mr. Bhatia went off on a tirade about different things and wouldn't answer the questions concerned, did he find out about what we knew. So we believe that as soon as the mother went in after the girls had come out of hospital, that CCTV was interfered with. It became clear, having been fobbed along, that that CCTV was never going to be produced. Had we found out that there was no CCTV and it couldn't be produced for whatever reason, this matter would have been before you before Christmas, because we felt it was serious enough to warrant. We couldn't justify it as an expedited hearing because it doesn't fall within that criteria. But we wanted to get it to you as soon as possible, and we were always mindful of the parents and the girls concerned, because at the end of the day, that is our real concern.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Bill. Thank you so much. I don't have any more questions. Any more questions from committee? Okay. Now we go to sum up. Please, can I ask the parties to sum up in 3 minutes? The licensing officer.
I have nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay.
Sure, Bill will.
Okay. The applicant for the review, you have 3 minutes to sum up.
I think I've covered most of it, and it's been quite clear as to what our views are. Everything is detailed in the paperwork. If there's anything that you feel you've missed or whatever, I've tried to be as comprehensive as possible so that you actually get full flavour and picture of what's happened. We say it's a very serious matter, and revocation is the only course available to you.
Thank you. Our two supporting review to the review, please.
I go first.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Nicole, go on.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Doug. We have nothing further to add, Chair.
Okay. Doug.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just want to make the point that I don't think it really matters why the CCTV wasn't provided. There were two systems. One we were told was corrupt, but we don't know. That's the main one. The private Verisure one, that was working, and we were told it had recordings back to October the 12th, which is 2 weeks before the alleged sale to the 13 and 14-year-old. But it doesn't really matter. It wasn't provided. Therefore, I think it's clear that we should accept the words of the complainant of what's happened to their girls.
Yeah.
And in any case, as I say, I think there's enough just on what officers have seen for revocation to be the appropriate outcome. You know, if the matter gets to a criminal case, then that will be maybe looked at more. Why CCT wasn't, because it may be an aggravating factor. But for this meeting, I don't think we should be sidelined by that.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Now we have Mr. Paschal. To sum up, I'm going to allow you 3 minutes. 6 minutes to sum up.
Yeah, I don't think I'll need that 6 minutes. I'm also very grateful to Doug and Bill Massini, which they worked hard along, and I've been able to work along with them, and we're trying to get make sure that the premises I'm talking about has a future there for a person who can run into promoting the 4 licensing objectives robustly. We have managed to find that. We have managed to go forward with it. And as you said, to move and move, I can just reply that back into the next hearing. But at the present moment, all I can say is that it's very apologetic over what has happened at the premises, and we hope that the premises is run properly in future, and such a mistake is not made by Mr. Bhatia wherever he runs his business or whatever he's into, and he learns a lesson from what has happened here. That's all we can say at this very moment. As a consultant, I would have advised, I've made up to whatever I could to see that the premises are run in promoting the 4 licensing objectives. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Now the committee will retire and take its decision in a separate room. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear committee's decision. However, this might take time. If you do not want to wait, a summary decision will be published on Council's website tomorrow morning. Can I ask members to join me in video in the next room? Thank you. Is everyone back? Charles?
Chair, everyone's on the call. The three committee members and the applicant, the license holder is on the call, as is the applicant, Mr. Mancini. So you can proceed with the decision, Chair.
Okay. JMB Food and Wine, 143 Askew Road, London, W12 9AU. The premises. The committee has considered an application from the Council's License Authority for a review of premises license under the Licensing Act 2003. The application. In summary, the committee has decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of this case and promotion of full licensing objective, to revoke the license. A copy of committee's full decision, including its reasons, will be sent to parties forthwith. If applicant or any other person who has made a relevant representation is unhappy with this decision, they are entitled to appeal to Magistrate Court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision. Thank you. I think we go to the second one now.
No, Chair, legally, the second one can't start before 8 o'clock. So
8 o'clock.
What I'd suggest is everyone turn their cameras off and mute their microphones, and I'll put an adjournment tile up.
Okay.
And if everyone can rejoin this meeting as the live stream is on at about 5 to 8. Thanks very much. Yeah, everyone's on the call that needs to be on the call. We're just waiting for Emmanuel to join.
Okay, we wait then. We still have a minute, so.
I'm here, Chair.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to start now. Charles, I'm starting. Charles?
Yes, Chair, that's fine. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Welcome to tonight's License Subcommittee meeting. My name is Councillor Macy Ume, and I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. The meeting is being broadcast live on Council's YouTube channel. If I lose connection, Councillor Florence Chauvedere will take over for me. I would like to remind all participants few housekeeping points. Please keep your microphone muted unless you are speaking. Please keep your camera turned on when you speak at the hearing. Please note that the chat function has been disabled. If parties wish to add any additional information other than their allocated time to speak, they must use the raise hand function so that they are not missed. I also ask that members keep their questions and comments brief to the point. Now we move to item 1 on our agenda. Item 1, apologies for absence. None was received. Item 2, declaration of interests. Do members have declaration of interest?
No, Chair.
Thank you. Item 4. I don't know why I went to item 4. MG Food and Wine, 143 Askew Road, West 12. I would like to ask everyone participating to introduce yourself as I call on you. We should have with us the applicant's agent, Mr. Paraj Pacha, licensing premises license holder, Mandeep Singh Pate. We have licensing officer, which is Lona Maken. We have licensing policy and administration team leader, that's Matt Tucker. We have our legal advisor, Emmanuel Apancha. We have objecting officer, Adrian Overtime. Now procedure. In addition to the main agenda, supplementary agenda A was published on 13th February 2025. Before we consider the application today, please, may I quickly explain the procedure the committee will follow. We will hear from the following. The licensing officer will introduce the application, the objector, finally the applicant. Usually, each party will address the committee for a maximum of 5 minutes. Following the presentation by all parties, the committee may ask questions of any party or other person present at the hearing, except committee members. No party has the right to ask questions to any other party at any time during hearing. Following the presentation and questioning, each party will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes to sum up their representation. The committee will then, the committee will retire for deliberation. Upon its return, I will announce committee's decisions. Now we have presenting officer. Can I ask Lorna McCain to introduce the application?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. On the 24th of December 2024, the Licensing Authority received a valid application for a new premises licence in respect of the premises known as MG Food and Wine, 143 Askew Road, London, W12 9AU, which was submitted by Personal Licence Courses UK on behalf of Mandeep Singh Bhatia, the applicant. The applicant has applied for a new premises licence for the sale of alcohol off the premises only, as outlined as follows. The sale of alcohol off the premises Monday to Sundays from the hours of 8 a.m. till 11 p.m, with the proposed opening hours being Monday to Sundays between the hours of 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. The applicant has proposed a number of additional steps to promote the 4 licensing objectives if the application is granted this evening. During the consultation period, the licensing section received 1 representation objecting to the licensing application from Mr. Adrian Overton on behalf of the Licensing Authority, and 2 representations objecting to the licence application from local residents. There has been previous adverse enforcement history at the premises, which is under a different premises licence holder. And in addition to the main agenda, can confirm the supplementary item, agenda item A, which included further information from the Licensing Authority's representation, was circulated on the 13th of February 2025 to all parties. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Now we have objector. 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. So just by way of background, the Licensing Authority has made a representation to this application solely on the basis of previous enforcement history at the premises. I am aware that this committee has heard extensive evidence for the review of the licence at this premises from Mr. Bill Massini in the previous hearing. However, given the seriousness and the gravity of the incidents that took place and the previous enforcement issues, I just wanted to highlight the background and the reasoning for the licensing team's representation this evening. At the end of October 2024, the licensing team were made aware that a group of underage girls managed to purchase 2 bottles of vodka and some vapes from this premises. At the time, 4 of the girls were 14 and 1 was 13. These girls then consumed the vodka and used the vapes, and were later found very sadly passed out on a family member's floor. 3 of the girls were subsequently taken to hospital, with 1 of them requiring urgent medical attention en route. They all regained consciousness early the next morning. As a result of this very serious incident, the licensing team submitted a review asking for revocation of the licence on the 23rd of December 2024. As a result of the review being submitted, a new premises licence application was then made the following day on the 24th of December 2024, with the proposed licence holder being named as Mandeep Singh Bhatia. Officers from the licensing team, trading standards team and the police licensing team arranged an urgent meeting with Mr. Mandeep Singh Bhatia in early January 2025. During this meeting, there were immediate concerns raised with Mr. Bhatia's apparent lack of experience, which appeared at the time to be limited to stacking shelves in another licensed premises. We were also aware that he was very young, 19 years old as well at the time. He was also unaware, as it became apparent during the meeting, of how the age-related till prompt system worked when he was asked about that. And obviously this particular system would be key to ensuring that further underage sales did not take place at the premises. Given his lack of experience, it was agreed that Mr. Bhatia should attend an in-house trading standards age verification training session on the 12th of February. However, he never attended this course, and he didn't give any explanation as to why he couldn't attend or why he didn't attend. Given the circumstances in which this application has been made, we do have serious concerns that there is a direct link between the current licence holder at this premises, Mr. Subir Singh Bhatia, and the proposed licence holder, Mr. Mandeep Singh Bhatia, and we believe that this application has only been made in a cynical attempt to continue licensable activities at the premises. We feel that the irresponsible management of this premises will carry on as normal if a new licence is granted to Mr. Mandeep Singh Bhatia, excuse me, and we also feel that there is a real chance that further underage sales of alcohol could take place in such an environment with a lack of knowledge and with a lack of experience. I've got nothing else to add at this stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Can I ask the applicants, Mr. Panchal or Mr. Mandeep Singh, which one of you, 5 minutes to speak?
Sorry, ma'am, do you want us to present the case, or do you want us to?
Yeah, to present your case. Please, can I ask, where is Mandeep?
He's up there, he's present. Ma'am, he's here.
I haven't seen him.
He's up in, I can see him. He's not with me, he's individually.
Yeah, he's on
He's in a
Chair, he's
separate
on the
box,
call.
Chair. Yeah.
He's on call. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think his picture is up here. On...
Okay.
He's up present here, ma'am.
Okay.
At the hearing. Sorry, Chair. I'd like to present the case in two different ways. First, I'd like to bring to your attention one major thing, that Mr. Mandeep Singh Bhatia, there are plenty of Bhatias around with those surnames, and Mandeep Singh Bhatia has no relation whatsoever to the previous license holder. He's got no relation in any way. Ma'am, I'm going to just go through how robustly he understands the 4 licensing objectives. He does hold a personal license with him. He's worked with one of the most prominent off-license in the country, around the area, and he understands the 4 licensing objectives. If we were asked, he'll be able to put down. At the as we understand the seriousness, I was at the first hearing that we were all present, and the seriousness of how badly the premises was run. Mr. Mandeep Singh Bhatia does also understand that. Mandeep, in this case, when I say Mandeep Bhatia does not any relation. He will be having a training manual at the premises, which I've got here, training manual, which will conduct all the staff that are trained, are working at the premises. They will be fully trained under the 4 licensing objectives. The training will be recorded in the training manual, and that training manual will have a record to show to the premises, the responsible authorities, how well the training is done for the staff who will understand the 4 licensing objectives. There will also be under Section 57, the DPS authorization in the training manual, and the right to work documents of everybody. There will be an incident book present at the premises when responsible authorities visited the premises. There will be a notice to say, please do not sell single cans of alcohol at the premises. There will be a warning sign showing the CCTV at the premises. There will be a challenge 25. My client will be following the challenge 25 at the premises. Anybody under the age of 25 and 18 would be asked for IDs, which he understands. There will be a please leave quietly posters put up. There will be also an incident book present at the premises. Ma'am, that he does understand the 4 licensing objectives very well. He's been working in this trade since he was 17-year-old. So he wasn't serving alcohol when he was 17. And that is one of the reasons that you see that he was staking shops. He was staking till he was 18. And then after 18, he worked behind the counter. At the present moment, if you see his picture of you, if you can, on your screen, that he is working at a till now, presently at one of the shops. he has made efforts to obtain this shop because this shop is going away cheaply because the previous owners have made a blunder and they have to leave the shop. People understand that, and that is why he's stepping into his business at the present moment. But we can definitely assure you that he has no relation. Ma'am, the other thing is we're also proposing all the conditions, and I would like you to look at into your bundle the application that we've made. And in that application, on page 100 on my bundle, if you look at condition number 12 that we proposed to the council, which says previous management who own this business or had any involvement, Mr. Surbir Singh Bhatia and his son shall not be allowed to enter the property or shall have no business connection. They shall be banned from the premises. So they have no connection with this. My client is paying quite a bit of money. He has got lawyers lined up, and the lease of the premises is also going to be under his name. So there will be absolutely no connection with the previous owners. I can assure you that, ma'am, what is happening working with the local community. So, ma'am, we are happy to take any more questions or anything. Now, regarding I was away on a holiday, ma'am, sorry, during this application period. I've just come in last week, and I managed to speak to him that why he did not attend or reply to Doug Love regarding, and he said that as soon as my license is granted, my first approach will be to Mr. Doug Love to go down and do his course. And then at this moment, he has already done a course obtaining his personal license. So he understands the 4 licensing objectives. I mean, we are happy to take any questions, but we feel that this license be granted. My general opinion, will be moving very faster in obtaining this premises. So the previous owners are removed from the premises ASAP. Ma'am, their license will be, you have already revoked the license of the previous owner. Ma'am, that's our presentation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Panchal. Can I ask each committee members to ask questions of any party other than about the application and the issues that's been raised at this hearing in relation to 4 licensing objectives: the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, the protection of children from harm. Okay, I have Councillor Alfonso.
Thank you, Chair. Mr. Pankal, I assume you're going to be answering the questions on behalf of Mr. Bhatia, so I'll just address them to you. You're muted, sir.
Sorry, my name is Mr. Panchal, P-A-N-C-H-A.
Panchal, sorry. Yeah. But can you confirm you'll be answering the questions on behalf of Mr. Bhatia?
Yeah, yes, Councillor. No.
Right. So I'll start with the training manual you've just shown us.
Yep.
Have you shared that training manual with licensing at any point throughout the process?
I have shared it when I had a meeting with Mr. Doug Love, and that what meeting you've seen in Adrian's report. During that period, I always brought in, because our training manuals are quite robust and quite popular in all the premises that we provide, and the responsible authorities have always worked around it because it contains most of the thing.
So who would undertake the training for this training manual?
The training manual is for the DPS, the designated premises supervisor. Always on a licensed premises, the designated premises supervisor's job is to make sure all staff are fully trained, and those trainings are logged every 3 months. So trainings are logged into the training manual to see that every 3 months, the DPS trains the staff, goes through the 4 licensing objectives, and makes sure they understand. There is a statement in the training manual that the employee would sign, which would say that if they ever made a mistake of selling it underage or anything, they would immediately be sacked. So they do understand.
Thank you for that exploration. Who would that be? Who would actually who would the person be if this license were to be granted? Who would undertake the training?
Well, Mandip Bhatia, who's the DPS at the moment, who we have proposed as a DPS, he will be training his staff. And
yeah, thank you for that. That was the answer I was looking for. So he would. So why, if he is intended to be DPS, what is the justification for not attending on the 12th?
So he's trained.
But sir, you are seeking a license from this authority. Why did you not engage with the licensing officials from the authority you're seeking a license from?
He's already trained obtaining his personal license. He's gone through the award for personal license holders course level 2, which entitles him to obtain a personal license. And then he was waiting that if this license is granted, his first move would be to attend the extra training that is provided by Doug Love.
So I struggle to accept that. In my view, if you're looking to obtain a license from an authority, and that authority requests a training beforehand, you do the training. And I will give you another opportunity to try and give me a proper response to that question. But if you can't, I'm just going to assume there is no justifiable reason as to why you did not attend on the 12th.
Let me start again. When this application was put in for him and he became over 18, he attended a licensing course, a licensing training, which is required by anybody who becomes a designated premises supervisor, which is called the APLH, Award for Personal License Holders Level 2. He attended that, he passed that exam, then he obtained his personal license. When this application was put in, he was not sure that the application will be granted, although he was hoping that the application will be granted, but it came on to a hearing after he attended the meeting. So his view was that if the license is granted today, his first move before he takes over the premises is to attend Mr. Doug Love's training, although he's had a training already by himself, but he will attend another extra training by the responsible authorities. That is what his views were. And while I was away, I could have advised him to say that you please go in, doesn't matter, you don't have to wait till the license is granted. But he's qualified to run the premises.
Okay, thank you for that. I have one further question. You mentioned during your statement that Mr. Bhatia came to find out that this premises was available on the cheap, I believe was the exact phrase you used. How did he come to find out that it was going on the cheap? Could you explain the detail around that, please?
Yeah, I've been in this trade for 20 years. And normally the word spreads around very quickly when somebody is found by the authorities in causing any breaches and that. So his license was put up, a blue notice was put up, and Mr. Bhatia used to work for a premises that we look after. We look after quite a lot of premises. And the message passed around in the community that there's a premises up for sale, or going to be up for sale because it's going to lose a license. And so Mr. Bhatia asked us, he's got no relation with the other person, and we guided him to say, yes, there is a premises up for sale. And both of them negotiated. Mr. Bhatia, Mr. Mandip Bhatia, and the other premises, they negotiated and said, this is how much we'll pay. If there was no license, that was what premises would be at a cost.
And just to confirm, so there has never been any financial or employment relation between Mr. Mandip Bhatia and the previous license holder?
There is absolutely no relation. We can have a look at anywhere or find any place. Mr. Mandip Bhatia and the other Bhatia, Suvir Bhatia, have no relation. There are too many Bhatias around.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Chair. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Councillor. Yes, Councillor Shovede.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Councillor Afonso. I think you asked some very good questions. So could we get the licensing team's view of what's been said, please?
Yes, thank you, Councillor. Just in relation to the training manual, as I understand it, that was not shown to officers during the meeting in January 2025. And that's the first I've heard that there was a training manual. And I mean, just in relation to not attending Mr. Love's training, Mr. Love sent a number of emails to Mr. Bhatia that were not responded to. And I think it was quite clear and it was quite explicit at that meeting that he was to attend that training. And the issue with the training that Mr. Love runs is that it's every 6 to 9 months. So that's why officers said you need to go on this training. There's been a very serious incident at the premises and we would like you to go on this. And this is, almost the first thing that we've asked this license holder to do after such a serious incident. And I think for him to fail, at the first hurdle really is not brilliant. So that just on those points, and then just on the point of the sale as well, I'm not aware that there's any evidence of that sale, and I don't know that that's been provided to us. So I don't know if members would need to see that, or that might be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. I suppose a mechanism for the millions of people watching at home that committees regularly use are supplementary agendas, which can be served to committee members up until a later point. Mr. Panchal, did you think it would have been helpful to provide those? We have to review the case on the basis of the evidence provided in front of us, not the one that we're told exists.
Yes, it would be helpful, but we have, as I said earlier, we proposed quite a lot of conditions when we put the application in. If you look on the page 100, and that evidence is there that we are happy to provide the CCTV, which will be given to the police or the authorized counselors, which we mentioned in our prevention of crime and disorder. So we have provided all that, where the stuff's going to be, where Mandeep's going to buy the stuff, where his training is going to be held, where his how he's going to sell. He's also agreed on the he understands the council's licensing policy, whereby we put down the condition number 11: strong beer, lagers, ciders, and stout above 5.5 ABV shall not be displayed or sold. He understands that. So we have put down all that evidence in our application when we applied for the premises license, which is there. And we have full confidence. Like I said earlier, when I attended the first hearing, you could see that there was no confidence I had with the other people, and my argument wasn't there. But here, I have absolute confidence in this applicant, and I think it will be a plus point to him going forward also when he's 19, 20 years old and first step in his own business. And I have full confidence because we will be in regular touch with him. We're a training firm the last 15, 20 years in the licensing trade. So we will be looking after, as we were looking after his previous owners where he was working.
Well, precisely. When I tend to want to convince people in front of me who ask me a question, I tend to answer it and provide actual facts. Great, thank you for all of that. The drowning the fish thing again. Where on the pack is the evidence of the training booklet? Where on the pack is the evidence of the previous experience, and where on the pack is the evidence of the training obtained, please? Pages, numbers, please.
Yeah, it's on page 100 of your pack, and you see the conditions that we've laid out. It clearly said the license activities are only carried out. The CCTV, if I'm going to go start from first, if you look at it, there's a CCTV maintains comprehensive system, records 24 hours out there. So there is a CCTV we put down. The staff member of premises whose conversion with operation of CCTV shall always be on the premises when the premises are open. The staff member must be able to provide a police authorized counsel offer copies of the recent CCTV image or data with a minimum of delay when requested. Number 4 says an incident book shall be maintained by the premises that details incidents of note that occurs in the premises. This shall include refused sales, disorder, and ejections as a minimum. A logbook shall always be kept on the premises for a minimum of 1 year from each entry and be available for inspection at all times the premises is open. Management shall regularly check the book to ensure all staff are using it. All staff who are selling alcohol shall receive regular training in the Licensing Act 2000 within written records of this training.
Mr. Pancha, sorry, you are reading, what you are reading to us is conditions. What you are reading to us is conditions. We don't want conditions. You're asking what are the trainings. You are reading us conditions. We don't want to hear conditions.
Thank you, Chair. I was going to actually call to you could we please ask for the answers to be answered? Because that's very, very frustrating. It's the theme of the evening, isn't it? We ask a question and we get, don't know what we get. Could I ask 3, 1, on which page of the pack is the training booklet that you mentioned? 2, on which page of the pack is evidence of the past experience of the applicant? 3, on which page of the pack is evidence of the training received and certifications obtained by the applicant?
We haven't put the evidence, sorry, of the.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. Thank you, Chair. That's it for my questions.
Okay. Thank you so much, Councillor. My question is to Mandip, because I need to ask him this question. Mandip, could you tell me where you've been working before?
I worked before in Kopernik, the Polish supermarket, when I was 17. And when I was 18, I started selling alcohol on the till of the Kopernik. And I worked 2 years there. And after that, I come to Londis. Now I'm currently working in the Londis.
Okay. Could you give me the dates of your training? Mr. Pancha said you had training. Could you remember the dates you had this training?
I don't remember. It's maybe like 2 months ago or 1 month ago. 2 months ago.
2 months ago. 2 months ago, meaning you must have had it around December.
Yeah.
So why didn't you show our officers the copy of your training?
Sorry?
Did you show our officer your certificate of your trainings, that you have done these trainings?
Yeah, I have certificates from Mr. Panchal. I get it on my email, or some physical certificates as well.
But you didn't show our officers those certificates.
Which officer?
Okay. Why did you miss our training? Why did you miss the council training?
I missed that training because I'm not sure the license was granted or not. And first of all, I'm done the training from Mr. Panchal as well. So if I go there, I lost my job as well and my pay as well.
So what I don't understand, if you go there, you lose. Why didn't you send email back to the officer to say, okay, I've done this training before? Why didn't you say that?
When they send me an email in the afternoon, I start work at 2:30 at the time, and I forget it. After Mr. Panchal came from the holiday, and he called me, you have a hearing of your license, and he asked me, Doug send you an email. I say, yeah, he sent me, and I forget it. 1 second, I have a customer. 250, please. Thank you. Yes, please.
So right now, where are you working right now?
I'm working at Londis.
Londis.
Yeah.
How many staff are there?
There's 2 staff are there. One is for floor and one is for till.
Okay, Mr. Londis, Mr.
Mandip.
But you are, if you are with this new job you are employed, with this new place you want to buy, how many officers, how many people are you going to employ?
We employed 3 people there in this shop where I'm working.
No, not this one.
Which one?
If you are granted permission to sell, how many workers?
3 people. 3
people you are going to employ?
Yeah, not 3, 2 people and 1 me, together 3.
2 people and 1 people. Yeah. I see. Okay, what do you understand by in terms of selling alcohol to children? What do you understand about that?
I understand these 4 objectives: the prevention of crime disorder and promotion of public safety, public nuisance and children from harm.
Okay. So, what's my other question? Okay. You said how many people you're going to employ. I'm still concerned that you didn't attend our training, and until Mr. Pancha came back and told you should have gone for that training. And that makes me to wonder whether you'll be able to work with our officers in terms of hearing what they're saying and following what they're asking you to do. Because you haven't given me that thing that you are going to listen and do what they're saying. You wait for Mr. Pancha to tell you what to say. I don't have any more question with you. Can I ask Mr. Pancha? Mr. Pancha, you said, you're going to be directing Mr. Batel like you directed the other person. With your directions, he was still not able. He was still didn't do well with all your directions. So how am I going to trust that your new direction now will be equally helped Mr. Batal here to function well, to obey the 4 licensing laws?
Ma'am, the previous owner was not our regular customer. So we cannot.
But no, sorry, Mister, because you mentioned that you trained him as well as the one you are training now. So that does not give me that confidence. And that's what your statement said. I wrote it down. You said you were going to train him like you trained the other person.
Ma'am, we are accredited by BII to run an APLH level 2. The APLH level 2 is a course that entitles anybody to, if they pass, it entitles anybody to apply for a personal license. Then there are further trainings in BII level 1. If the client is happy to carry on with that service with us, then we can guide them. As far as Mandip is concerned, because we look after the business that he was working with, they send their people on every 6 months training. While the previous person had trained with us to obtain his personal license, but did not come back to us to say that, can you guide us to consult how I should be running my shop? The training already entitles them when we train people on APLH level 2, where Mandip Bhatia is also trained on APLH level 2 presently to obtain his personal license. That entitles him to sell retail sale of alcohol.
Okay. Okay, Councillor Shavade, yes.
Thank you, Chair. Could you provide evidence of this?
Sorry, evidence of what?
Could you provide evidence of the training?
Whose training, sorry, are you asking me to provide evidence of?
Sorry, your sound is gone.
Sorry. Yeah. Mr. Mandip Singh Bhatia has applied for a premises license. He is also applied in the premises license as a designated premises supervisor. He cannot become a designated premises supervisor if he does not qualify under APLH level 2 and obtain a personal license, which the license officer Adrian Overton will also explain to you. So Mr. Mandip Bhatia has already trained and obtained that personal license, without which he cannot apply as a designated premises supervisor. The training of APLH level 2 and his certificate is obtained through our training at our center, which we are accredited by BII.
Can you provide evidence of that?
He's provided the evidence to the application that he is the DPS with a premises personal license. He cannot obtain that personal license without obtaining the APLH level 2. So the evidence is already there. In the
which page, please?
If you look at the
Mr. Pancha, you're on mute.
Sorry, if you look at the application on page 97, it says the name and details of the individual who wish you to specify license as a premises supervisor, and the name is Mandip Singh Bhatia. And his personal license has been applied for, which is already applied and which is already issued by the E-Link Council.
Thank you. Can you come in, Adrian, on that?
Sorry, Councillor, I'm just trying to look. It's not actually loading up that section of the report, but Mr. Pancho is correct. I mean, when somebody is a DPS, they need to be a personal license holder, and they would have had to obtain that through whichever authority that they live in, and that authority would have asked for evidence of that training as part of that process. You know, the reason, I mean, that's notwithstanding the fact that we asked Mr. Bhatia to undertake further training. You know, especially in these circumstances, you can never have too much training. And our issue is that obviously that he didn't respond to that, but he would have needed to have that personal license training to get the personal license. That is correct.
Great. And we have in the pack evidence of a license supplied by Ealing Council.
It will say who his personal license has been provided by in the application, as I understand it. Yeah, I can't actually load up that section of it at the moment. I don't know whether you can find that, Lorna, at all.
Okay, we wait till you find it.
Yeah.
Before then, I have a question for Mr. Panchad. Mr. Panchad, you keep saying going forward, and you said that Mandip didn't go to the training because he wasn't sure he's going to buy the shop. So I kind of explained better for me to understand.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't get the question correct.
I said, okay, he said going forward, and that Mandip didn't come for the training because he wasn't sure he's going to get the shop. He will be able to buy the shop. So explain to me now. You said, oh, he has done the training. I can't get my head around all those things you say. Oh, going forward, he didn't know he's going to get the shop, so he didn't come for the training. So it's kind of makes it a bit complicated for me to understand whether Mr. Pancha, Mr. Mandip is ready to run the shop.
The question is very simple. The answer is very simple. If he doesn't get the proper premises license for the shop is not worthwhile for him to run on a grocery and other matters. So he's trying to avoid to say that if this license is granted, premises license, that is when the shop will be profitable to run with the sale of alcohol and that. If the license is not granted, his move to the shop would be zero. He would not buy the shop. That's what his views were. And he was waiting that if the license is granted, yes, I will undergo further training and that.
Okay. We have Lorna. Lorna, you put your hand up.
Yeah, so on the application form, Chair, there isn't a personal license number on there. It says to be applied for, and it's the same with the DPS, the designated premises supervisor consent form, which is submitted with the application, which can be a common thing with applications if the DPS is applying for the personal license with the borough that it says in this case is Ealing. Once obviously they've got a valid personal license, we can cross-check with Ealing where they will have to supply, like Adrian said earlier, DBS certificate, personal license certificate, right to work, etc. But right now we don't currently have one. So even if the license was granted this evening, until we have a valid personal license number for the DPS, the premises wouldn't be able to sell alcohol.
Thank you, Lorna. Councillor.
Thank you. Lauren and Adrian, staying with you. If there isn't a personal license number provided, does that mean that DPS hasn't actually been granted by Ealing Council yet?
Would it mean the DPS hasn't been granted? It would just mean that potentially the personal license at the time of application hadn't been granted. Like I said, it could have been granted in the meantime, but Ealing emails directly. They would contact the personal license holder, and then they would need to then supply us with the personal license.
I think if it helps, Councillor, I think it means that at the time this application was made, there was no personal license with Ealing Council, or Mr. Batty was in the process of getting that. And as Lorna quite rightly says, if you were to grant the license this evening, they wouldn't be able to sell alcohol until we actually had that information from Ealing Council. You know, what is the personal license number? And then we would send out the license, the premises license, with the personal license number on it as well. And Mr. Batty could then be the DPS, but we don't actually have that at the moment. We don't know what the number is, what the personal license number is from Ealing Council at the moment.
Thank you. So I was told there is one.
Yes, the license has been granted on 27/1/2025. The file license number is 225 LIC 00841 PERS by the Ealing Borough Council.
But again, you didn't find it interesting to add to a supplementary agenda with all the elements that you thought would reinforce the case. This was an English court of law. We would only be able to make a judgment on the basis of the evidence provided. I don't really understand why we don't get all these elements. If you thought that would reinforce your client's position, why aren't they provided to this committee? So
I'd like to put this context. Anybody can apply, and I just put it to the context to say anybody can apply for a premises license and also apply for a personal license. The premises license will not be granted. Premises license, even if the committee grants the license, and if the license was ready for grant, it would not be valid to sell any alcohol till the personal license is then supplied to the council that is giving the premises license. So it could then, if the license is granted today, for argument's sake, we will then have to send the personal license details to Lorna to get the license ready for it to be valid as under license activities. It's a normal thing that everybody does that.
So technically your client has 27 days of experience of selling alcohol because the license was granted on 21st of January.
After the age of 18, he is entitled to sell alcohol if he has been nominated by any DPS, and that is what he's been doing.
Okay, he won't be guilty of a crime of youth with me. Beethoven was composing music at 10, so that's not what it's about. So how many months of experience selling alcohol does he have?
I'd like Mandip to answer that, but he is after, as he said to you, as soon as he became 18, he started going behind the counter, but he was working, shelving in the shop in Copenhagen from the time he was 17 when he came to this country. So he has experience since he was 18 onward selling alcohol.
Okay, but as a DPS, as a premises license holder, 27 days.
The premises license yet.
Yeah. So
he holds a personal license now.
So Ms. Panchal, if you were defending against an applicant, you would agree there isn't demonstrable evidence, is there? We haven't got actual evidence in front of us, do we? Of any of that?
Well, you haven't. Let's put it like that.
Thank you. That's it for me, Chair.
Thank you. Any more questions? No. I don't have any. And please
Chair, can I just ask to come for Mr. Panchal to clarify the number, the DPS number again that he read out?
It's 25 LIC 00.
Sorry, say that again. Your
25
LIC
00841
00841
PERS.
Sorry, say that again.
PERS. That's the last.
PERS. Okay. So 25 LIC 00841 BERS.
PERS.
DERS.
P for Peter. PERS.
Oh, PERS. So just confirming 25 LIC 00841 PERS.
Yes. We will be sending that copy to Lorna tomorrow.
Okay. Adrian, are you able to check on the online to confirm, or?
I can.
We can't. I'm not sure that we can confirm that that
Okay.
personal license from Ealing Council actually at the moment. No, but we can check with Ealing to see, you know, if that was granted and if that's valid, etc. After the hearing.
Okay. That's it from me, Chief.
Thank you so much. And now we go on to sum up. Please, can I ask, can the parties sum up briefly as possible in following order? Lorna McKenna, the licensing, 3 minutes.
I have nothing further to add, Chair, but if Mr. Panchal wants to email me across the email, if it's from Ealing, I can have a look at the email while we're on the meeting.
Okay. Edwin, can you sum up 3 minutes?
Thank you, Chair. I won't take that long, but just to, you know, let you know and give some background. I mean, we made this representation because we were concerned about the experience of the current or the proposed license holder, and we wanted members to make a decision on whether they thought that he had the relevant experience, you know, to come into this premises, given what's happened in the past, and to make sure the licensing objectives were upheld. And I have to say, I nothing personal against Ms. Bhatia, but I really don't think that he's got that experience. I think he's very new in the license trade. I mean, he got his personal license a matter of weeks ago. And I think given that this premises is highly likely will be targeted by children, you know, and young people to purchase alcohol in future, I wouldn't be convinced that he is going to have the knowledge and the experience to be able to refuse those sales as he should do. And, you know, I thought, you know, we may come along this evening and the new license holder might be somebody who's got, you know, 5 or 6 years experience, and there might be a, you know, a whole sort of a management plan about how there's going to be other people in charge when this person's away. But unfortunately, I haven't seen any of that. And obviously it's up to you to make that decision whether you think that this person is responsible. But I don't think, as I said, nothing personal, that Mr. Bhatia's got the experience and the responsibility to be able to do that. The other thing I would just like to clarify is I think I said earlier on that Mr. Love's training was every 6 to 9 months, and actually after looking into that, it's actually 5 sessions a year, so it's a bit more than that. But just to clarify for the record that it's a bit more frequent than that. And then finally, just to add, I still don't understand why Mr. Bhatia didn't go back to Mr. Love and say, I'm sorry, I can't attend the training. I'm going to wait to see if a new license gets granted. You know, one of the key things with any new license holder, especially in these circumstances, is communication with council officers and with the licensing authority. And I think if we've got no communication to start with, then this is going to be an impossible situation going forward. And I wouldn't feel comfortable with a license being granted. The only thing I would say is if you were minded to grant a license, I would ask that you only grant a time limited license, maybe between 3 and 6 months, just to try and uphold the protection of children from harm licensing objective. But nothing else at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian. The applicant, you have 3 minutes to sum up.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, before I submit, that is the personal license granted. I've just printed it out by the Ealing Borough. So I'm going to send that copy to Lorna. And it is in future, in the past, we've always done that when we put the applications in, we always send the personal license application at the same time. Some people do sell alcohol, but they do not have a personal license because they are nominated by the DPS. A person can be nominated by a DPS to retail sale of alcohol anywhere. Once it is nominated as a guidance section 57, they can sell alcohol behind the bar. Ma'am, at this moment, we feel that there is enough evidence for Mr. Mandeep Bhatia that he's trained with what we've seen and what we've heard. He does understand the 4 licensing objectives, which he has already said in front of you, ma'am. Ma'am, we've given enough conditions to lay out to make sure that the premises is going to be run robustly in promoting the 4 licensing objectives. Ma'am, we will do our best to make sure Mandeep Bhatia succeeds, and I'm sure that he will succeed in his new venture and will go forward. Ma'am, that's our view that the license will be granted today.
Thank you so much. You are welcome to remain in the meeting to hear the committee's decision. However, this might take some time. If you don't want to wait, a summary decision will be published on Council's website tomorrow morning. Can I ask members to turn off their video, mute their phone, and meet me in the private discussion? Charles, is everybody in? Charles?
Yes, Chair. Yes, you can proceed with the decision. The everyone's in that needs to hear the decision.
Thank you. Okay. London Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham summary decision of license subcommittee, 17th February 2025. MG Food and Wine, 143 Askew Road, London West 12 9AU, the premises. The committee has considered an application for a new premises license for the sale of alcohol off the premises only under the Licensing Act 2003. In summary, the committee has decided, after taking into account all the individual circumstances of this case and the promotion of 4 licensing objectives, to reject the application. A copy of this committee's full decision, including its reasons, will be sent to parties forthwith. If the applicant is unhappy with the decision, they are entitled to appeal to Magistrate Court within 21 days from the date of notification of the full decision. This note, I have to thank everyone for attending and for listening.